Yes, sir. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Therese Paler, Kansas City Star. And I'm here with 3/4 of the A team. I got Sammy Mellinger. I got Blair Kirkhoff here. My man, Vahe Gregorian is in Rio, killing it with his coverage. Shout out to you, Vahe. We miss you, buddy, but we got to carry on without you. A couple weeks in the Chiefs camp right now. I've had a lot of people tweet me, want to know some impressions about Chiefs camp, and have been clamoring for the podcast. So it's about time we deliver. What do you say, gentlemen?
Clamoring.
If they're clamoring,
You got to deliver.
Yeah.
You got to bring it on the podcast.
Yeah, there's only I'm only overstating that just a little, just a little. But no, let's get right into it, man.
Been a good camp, hasn't it? Don't you think? The weather's been good for one thing. It's only been a couple of really brutally hot days.
You know what? It's been probably the best weather camp we've had since I've been here. At least it's had a lot of great days, a lot of picture perfect, sunny 72 days. Some hot days, but I think it's still football, right?
So maybe that puts everybody in a good mood and think of it as a sort of a positive camp so far. Don't you think from what you've seen?
Well, I'm saying it's a positive camp, certainly based on what I've seen from the field. I've been here, I've been covering this team. This is my fourth year. This was my third camp, and I think from an execution standpoint, the offense is far ahead of where it's been in the past. I think the number one offense has looked pretty good. Now, they've had some days where they haven't looked great, but no real, terrible days. And that's certainly a departure from the past when the ball would regularly hit the ground. I think, the number one thing that stands out to me is that the offense just looks sharper, and Alex looks way more confident after last season. I mean, he looks confident. I mean, he is slinging it, particularly to Maclin and particularly to Kelsey. He is attempting deep throws. He is driving the ball down the field to those guys. The trust in everybody else has to come along. That's the number one thing I would say about that. But I do think there's been some real positive developments on that front, particularly with Chris Conley and Albert Wilson and Tyreek Hill, of course. You guys have been here, so you can, I'm interested to know what you think. But we know what Maclin can do. We know what Kelsey can do as receivers. Those guys have caught a lot of passes here. Who are some of the other players around those guys that have impressed you guys? I'm just curious.
well, I mean, I feel like this is a little bit of a repeat, but Tyreek Hill, his talent just jumps out at you. He is faster than anyone on the field. And one thing that I'm surprised about, we were talking about this a little bit, Blair, earlier, but I didn't know he was this much of a receiver. I didn't know he could track the ball the way that he has. I didn't know he could make kind of tough catches across his body, things like that. I mean, there's a lot more to being a receiver, obviously, than just being fast. And maybe his route running can get more precise in those things, but he's got a lot of just the skills and the ability of a receiver. Forget about what he can and I think probably will do as a punt return as a receiver. I've been really, really impressed with him.
Well, he's the one that all of us are going to be. 81 is the guy you're going to really track on Saturday at Arrowhead against the Seahawks. There's some others, but before we even get out of the wide receiver group, I'll throw in Rod Streeter too as somebody who's a newcomer who I think will be on this team, and I've been impressed with him.
What do you like about him?
Well, he's a good hands guy. I guess I don't have a good sense of his speed yet, but a really good hands guy.
Very reliable target.
Reliable target, and when you think about it, if you look on the wide receiver depth chart behind Jeremy Maclin, he may have more receptions and yards than anybody else.
Oh, he does.
So I mean, he's just a reliable guy. I don't know how many wide receivers are going to end up keeping, but I think they're going to keep him.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because I'm looking at this roster here, and guys, I'm telling you right now, there's 6 guys on this. There's at least 6 receivers on this team that deserve to make the roster. Obviously, Maclin, fine. Albert Wilson's having a good camp. Mm-hmm. He's a guy that, with a bad camp, you didn't invest a draft pick in him. With a bad camp, maybe you cut him. But he's had a good camp.
Even after missing a handful of days.
He's been a very reliable receiver. He's one of the few guys I have not seen drop passes. He's consistently created separation. I think Albert Wilson's had a very strong camp, and he needed to. And I wrote about this yesterday in my camp report. if you've been able to stick through the 1,400 words, you would have seen this. But
it is must-read stuff in the Kansas City Star.
Hey, and listen,
all the way down to the soundtrack.
And listen, I'm not going to apologize for my camp reports. I put a lot of love in those. So
Nobody would ask you to.
I'm not cutting them, and I'm going to keep doing it because that's the way I want to do it. I'm not even kidding. But anyway, I wrote about this in my camp report. Conley, I think we can all see he's a very physically gifted guy. Athletically he tests well, but when he came out of college last year, he had to kind of learn some of the difficult nuances of playing receiver. Sight adjustments, have some subtlety to your routes. But I think he's really shown some sophistication in his route running. I've seen him get open against Marcus Peters on shorter routes, intermediate routes, and if you run a sloppy intermediate route against Marcus Peters, he's taking it back.
Yeah.
He's going to undercut you, and it's going back the other way. I've seen him repeatedly catch comeback routes on him. And if that's a sloppy route, he'll get you on it. So that's impressive to me. And he's consistently made difficult catches for the most part. That's a guy who I can say his offseason work with Jeremy Maclin has helped. And the same for Wilson. I think if those guys had not worked with Maclin, because Mac are pushing now. He can be tough on you, but I think he's been good for both of them, and I think both of them have done a nice job in the sense that I wouldn't say either one of them deserve to lose reps based on what I've seen. I think you can work Stringer in, but I think those four deserve to make the team. And Hill, of course, so that's 5, right? And then the 6th guy. I think you'd be a fool to cut DeMarcus Robinson.
I was just going to say that.
You'd be a fool to cut him. Go ahead, Sam. Why?
Well, no, I mean, just, physically he's got it. And I think that there's a lot to like about his size and kind of his potential, for sure.
Have you guys seen this guy repeatedly separate on post routes?
Yeah, he had routes? One, I forgot who was covering him, but he had a beautiful one on the end zone on our side.
He can track it.
Yeah.
He can go get it. Yep. He reminds me, and I know how this sounds. That's fine. But there's a little Antonio Freeman in him. Robert Brooks, the 6'1", 190-pound West Coast offense guy that is better than you just think he is. He's got a little of that in him. And this is the guy they need to find. So that's 6 receivers, not including DeAnthony Thomas. Speaking of DeAnthony, people continue to ask, what have you seen from him, guys?
Well, I would say whatever you have seen from him, enjoy it and remember it because you're not going to be seeing much from him in a Chiefs uniform after a couple of weeks. Yeah, I just think his time has come.
Ty Hill is a superior receiver right now to him. And
are you surprised? Like, I just can't get past. I thought this was a return guy. With some speed that maybe down the road might turn into, sort of what they thought Dexter McCluster was going to give them a few years ago. But no, he's
superior to McCluster really as a route runner right now.
Yes.
As a receiver, McCluster, he's better than those guys. Yeah. And you know what the real interesting thing about it is? His college stats as a receiver weren't great. So why weren't they using this?
Right.
Like, where was this?
Right.
And this is a guy.
Coach back.
Like, this is a guy. And I asked his coach at West Alabama, like, why his receiving stats aren't better. And I remember he said something to the effect of, "Well, we probably should have gotten the ball more."
That's on us.
He basically said that that was on us. But he also said. That's how good he was on returns. They want to just make sure they had him for punt return. And look, Dave Toub loves this guy. He loves him. He is going to use him as a kick returner. He will be fielding kicks to some degree this year.
Can we agree that DeAnthony Thomas's days are numbered here?
I can't.
I looked about a half-hour OTA practice. And they have a bigger, faster, younger DeAnthony Thomas. And that's the floor.
Yeah.
That's the floor. And we haven't talked about Frankie Hammond either. I mean, he's
who's still number one punt return.
I know.
Guy.
He can drop punts for somebody else now.
I think we have to say this. And I work really hard to be objective. Like, I work really hard at that. Like, if you ask me a question, I will be honest about it. But I do honestly feel that this is the deepest team they've had here since I've covered this team when I'm watching. I want to make sure I'm not crazy. Sam, I mean, do you kind of feel me on that?
Well, some of that, too, we should acknowledge as a low bar.
Sure.
When this group, when Reed and Dorsey and everybody took over that would have been 2013, they had really good players at the top. That's Houston and Barry and all those guys.
DJ,
Poe. But it was just super thin. And not just thin on the backups. There were spots in the starting 11 on both sides that were just really, really weak. And to their credit, I believe that Dorsey and Reed recognize that and have worked really hard on finding. Ron Parker is a guy that just always comes to mind of a guy that that's a depth guy. Hussein Abdullah. They've done a really good job of filling in those spots. And this team, I'm sure we'll talk about it, if not today, then later. There are a couple significant weaknesses. But yeah, for the most part, they have good players starting at all positions.
Oh, we're talking about the weaknesses.
Well, yeah, we'll get there. But think about this: they're gonna end up cutting some people that are gonna make other teams 53.
And last year, I think they had about 3, and I actually wrote down some guys that could get cut and who deserve to have an opportunity, who will sign somewhere.
And let's just juxtapose that, because the first year, was it 7 guys that made the team that got cut from other rosters?
Right, that they brought in,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Here's some guys that could get cut that if they cut them, they're getting signed immediately. I'll tell you that right now. DeAnthony Thomas, he gets cut, someone's picking him up immediately. That's one. Niall Davis, he gets cut, and he should get picked up because he has looked really good out here. Mm-hmm. He's faster, he's a better receiver, there's more sophistication in his route running. I have never seen him ever run a route as good as the one he did on Derek Johnson a few days ago, where it was a route out of the backfield, I don't know what it's called, like a flat corner or something, and he just left him he put 5 yards between himself and Derek Johnson, who's probably their best cover line.
He's still number 1 kick return guy.
He's
still taking the number 1 first team reps at kick returner. So you got Frankie Hammond taking first team reps as punt return. Now Davis kick return. I don't think either one of them are on the team on opening day.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Other guys that I think are on the bubble that will get picked up. If Aaron Murray gets cut, he's getting picked up immediately. Yeah. He looks a lot better than he did in OTAs. But as far as the quarterback situation goes, and you guys tell me what you think here, I think Bray's outperformed him. Bray, every day, he'll make a stupid throw here, and he's just fine. But every day, he will make a beautiful deep ball throw, and that is a tool you can work with that you can use to manipulate the defense.
Well, you said it. They've got a lot invested in Tyler Bray. He's been on the team through injury, through inactivity. There's a lot invested in Tyler Bray, and he'll be here. I'm convinced he'll be here.
Yeah, it's never been with Tyler Bray. It's never been about physical talent, specifically arm talent. It's always been about sort of what he does in the rooms, and if he's studying and all those things. And the Chiefs know that's the part. The Chiefs know that way better than any of us. And if they've been convinced enough to keep him around this long, then I'd go with that.
I think you got to look at the fact that Foles has come in and taken the number 2 reps or whatever. But right now, Bray's still ahead of Murray. Mm-hmm. Look, Murray's better than a lot of number 3 quarterbacks out there. Okay, and this is a 5th round pick a couple years ago that might get cut. So that's 3 guys. Another guy on the bubble who could get cut, James O'Shaughnessy, the tight end. This is a 5th round pick a year ago, who's still working his way back, and is the athleticism, which he really kind of showed last year, flashed. I don't think it's the same. He's still working his way back from that foot thing, but I think Ross Travis has outperformed him, and I think Travis is a guy that they need to find a way to continue to work into the mix. Because as a blocker, I don't know if he's ever going to give you anything, even though he's 6'7", 230. But his combination of athleticism and natural ball skills is really impressive. Mm-hmm. And what I like about Travis, competitive guy, cocky, he'll talk to you. And I like that for a guy who hasn't played football in 9 years. I like that. There was one play, he beat Marcus Peters in the corner of the end zone. This is Marcus Peters, the guy who had an interception in 5 straight practices. And he turned to him, said something, and it pissed Peters off because Peters knocked the ball out of his hand. I'm like, Ross Travis, I like you. So I think he's outperformed O'Shaughnessy, and I think that's the guy they need to continue to work with. So
and if you're saying O'Shaughnessy will get cut, one of the problems, and this is just a numbers game, right? But O'Shaughnessy is just they have a lot of O'Shaughnessy's on this roster. Like Ross, they've got pass catching. You know, if O'Shaughnessy's strength was blocking instead of he'd have a much better chance of making this team because that's what they need at that position.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to the tight ends blocking later. Another guy I kind of like here, Rakeem Nunez-Roches.
Yeah.
That's a guy I think there's a path for him to make the team, especially as like a sub-package pass rusher. But he's on the bubble. Here's a guy they took in the 6th round last year who cut his body fat 5%. It looks stronger and faster, but he is not. I mean, he might not be in the top 5 of the interior linemen. If you got Alan Bailey, Jay Howard, Dontari Poe, and Chris Jones, that's the top 4.
Yep.
He's trying to beat out Nick Williams, who's a more versatile player.
Nick Williams is good.
Nick Williams is a more versatile player.
Yeah.
He can play the big end, and there's nobody else on the. If you need someone to play the big end, he's the backup there. Like Nick can play it. That's the Mike DeVito position, right? I'll have something on him next week, by the way. Nice plug. But Nick Williams, you got him. He might. What, you gonna keep 6 interior defensive linemen? I don't think so. Yeah. You know, so between Nick Williams and Rock Nunez-Roches, one of those guys might get cut. And if I were another team, that's a guy I pick up immediately because they can help you. And another guy, David King, he's flashed a little bit too.
I know you like him.
So again, like as good as they are at finding interior defensive linemen, that kind of leads me to the next subject. This edge rush, guys.
We got to go outside, don't we?
Yeah, we
love the inside.
We're gonna have to
go outside.
We're gonna have to. Some people are gonna have to step up here. By the way, one last issue is the inside linebackers. If they keep Josh Maga, they're gonna have a choice to make between Justin March, Ramik Wilson, and DJ Alexander. And Ramik's staying because he's more of a Mike than anybody. He can play next to a Will who can run and hit. And March has been so good, you can't do anything with him. He's got to stay too.
He's been my Tyreek Hill of the defense.
Yeah, March has been great.
He's been fantastic.
The problem is DJ Alexander, who hasn't flashed as much on defense. Dave Tobe loves him as a special team. He plays on 5 special teams unit, first team, like he does. And you really upset Tobe if he has to go. But maybe you say, Justin March, you're going to do it now. I don't know. Anyway, my point is there's a lot of guys. That's a lot of guys that should get picked up immediately. So the depth's there. Let's talk a little bit about other guys that have impressed you. I'm going to throw out some names. Guys, feel free to chime in here if it feels right to you. Jay Howard.
Fantastic camp. I think fantastic camp. He is he's an all-pro waiting to happen.
Jay Howard is killing it.
Yeah. No, I'm all in on Jay Howard.
Chris Jones.
Yeah, like especially my thought was, and maybe I was wrong in the beginning, but I thought he was more raw than it looks like. You know, I thought he was just kind of a big, athletic dude, which
didn't have any pass. No, he has pass rush moves.
Yeah.
We see it every day in the
one-on-ones. Yeah.
Well, the other thing about Chris Jones is it was the motor. People question his motor in college, and he take plays off at Mississippi State. I haven't seen that at all here in training camp. He's brought the right attitude. I've been impressed with Chris Jones.
Maybe this is just me, but Daniel Sorensen.
Well, if we can boil it down to one play, I think he's had the play of training camp. The hit that he put on Niall Davis.
What a collision!
Oh, knocked him out. I mean, Niall Davis couldn't finish practice that day.
I know.
Look, he's done a nice job stepping in for Eric Berry, and he has grown the way Albert Wilson has grown on offense. Each of the 3 years he's been here, I think Daniel Sorensen, remember his first game with the Chiefs, that Titans game, it was just a disaster for him.
Yeah.
He has grown and made himself a part of this defense.
Okay, I agree. And the thing I like the most about the Davis hit, right after that, he hit 2 more guys.
He felt so much remorse.
The very next play, boom, 49. They're like, he came out after that too. They're like, guys, it took him right on out. He was done. They'll tell you that it was because they changed the formation. I'll say whatever. They were like, this guy's injuring people. Get him out of here. He was done. Number 22, God, Peters is so good. He's so good.
Yeah, if there was any, sort of, and look, like we're talking on August, 10th or whatever, before the first preseason game. But, if there was something in the back of your head about, like, is he going to come back he's a chip on the shoulder guy.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And so last year with how the draft happened and all that stuff, okay, he comes out and plays like that, but with not just a Pro Bowl but all pro, right? The way that he performed, and you just kind of, if that was in your head, is he gonna be happy? Is he gonna be satisfied? He's been
and there have been interceptions of Alex Smith. Yeah. Like, it's not just been Bray and those guys. Yeah. There's interceptions of Alex mixed in.
That's what I was just about to say.
Which is hard to do.
When Alex Smith is thrown to Macklin or another first-team wide receiver and Peters picks it off, my first reaction is, oh, Alex Smith. Oh, they can't win. And then I see, oh, it's 22.
Yeah.
Alex Smith, I think we probably agree that Alex Smith is better. It performs better than he's ranked. His bottom line result is better than where he's seen as a NFL quarterback. But Marcus Peters is at the top of his. If we had the position rank the Chiefs where they are in the NFL,
that's a great point.
Marcus Peters would be top 3 in the NFL. I think
he's up there with like Houston, right, as being an elite guy at his position. Mitchell Schwartz being an elite guy at his position. I mean, then what DJ's? I mean, there's a lot of great inside linebackers.
Right. But you get tier 1 guys.
DJ's underrated but I think he's on the cusp of that. But Peters is probably, he's up there. Because look, you can run your little pump and goes. You can, you can beat Peters on double moves. Okay, keep going over there though. He's gonna get you one time. Yeah, keep on doing it. I don't know why anybody would ever throw at him. Especially with what they got on the other side. Yeah. And some of these guys I like, but why would you ever throw at Peters when you know
those are your two options.
Yeah, but you just said it though, the other side.
Right. The other side's the question mark.
Yep.
And listen, I liked what I've seen from some of these young corners, but they're still young corners. That actually does transition us to things that positions and players we kind of need to see more from. One last good guy I've seen good things from is Tardif. I've seen him hang in there against the bull rush of Poe more than a few times. And if you can do that, you're all right. And Howard. He still has to improve the awareness, and he's a nasty guy. If he improves the awareness, they really got something with him. So, okay, areas we need to see improvement from. Or areas that have a lot to prove. I think this young cornerback group, aside from Peters, is part of that. Phillip Gaines, he's coming from a knee injury. He's a corner. How good is he going to be?
Yeah. He was good. Like, he showed some signs that he was going to be, a player before that injury. And I remember, this is going way back, but it was his rookie year, I believe, and they were playing a preseason game, coincidentally, in Green Bay. And he had a terrible night. I don't know if you guys remember this, but he was just terrible. He got lit up.
Yep.
And he stood there in front of his locker, and just like the way, and who knows how much this really matters, but the way that he handled that, and the way that he stood up and owned it, and I thought this guy's got something, like in his person, in his character to do that as a rookie. I thought that was big time.
Another guy who's done that before is Marcus Cooper. You guys remember when Cooper got was that one game he got destroyed? I think as a rookie,
Denver,
they finally figured him out.
Yeah.
He stood up there and he answered for like 20 minutes. I'm like, all right, Coop. Now, Cooper's actually had a good camp, but he's one of those guys that when the game time comes, that's when he's got to show. It ain't nothing he can do out here. But I do think Cooper's got a chance to make the team based on what I've seen. He's just got to keep it going. Steven Nelson. Have you guys been looking at him?
Yeah, I think he's had a very good camp.
I do too.
Very good camp. I kind of lean toward him a little bit.
Yeah, I do too.
So we'll see what happens Saturday, but I think he's the other guy right now.
I like Nelson because he's really competitive. He's a chip on the shoulder guy too. He has taken. This is okay. These are strong words, but he has taken the Sean Smith celebration mantle. He has. If he gets an incompletion, there's gonna be something. It could be a little fist pump. He could do the MJ fist pump. He could do the Sean Smith incompletion signal. He could do the Mutombo finger wag. I mean, he's got a little assortment of celebrations. Like, he has celebrations. He's taken that mantle.
There's the thing about him too. We talked about Chris Conley earlier, who looks like a different guy. Like, Nelson, to me, like of the defensive guys, has made that big leap. He's improved as much as
he has really
probably anybody.
And he's a guy. He's gotten beat a few times, but he responds. That's what I look at.
Yeah, and they're all going to get beat.
Right.
Like I think if you judge a corner on when he gets beat, I just don't think you can go that way. They all get beat.
So real quick on the two youngest guys, DJ White. The reason I think he fell in the 6th round is because like his testing wasn't off the charts, and you know how people in this league are. They want to see corners who run and jump, and But I'll tell you one thing about DJ White. 9 times out of 10, he is on position to make a play on the ball. Some guys just know how to cover. He's and we just talked to John Dorsey. He mentioned him. White's got something as a cover guy. There's something there. I could see him being a good nickel cover guy one day. Anybody got something? Okay. And Kivari Russell. Really outspoken guy. We love him because he'll talk and he's happy. He
That's what we like.
Yeah, but he's also very competitive. First day of practice, wasn't scared to jaw with Macklin. I like that.
Yeah.
Macklin will talk to you now, and Kivari wasn't scared. And he's made a few plays in camp. This has been a good draft. I think if you watch as much as we have, there's some real talent in this draft. They did a nice job finding guys.
Without that top pick.
Yeah,
too.
they really did a nice job. One area that I can tell you right now, is got to step up, guys. Backup tight end, okay? Because Kelsey's great as a receiver, but you want the number 2 tight end to be a consistent blocker. All those guys got to get better at it, all of them. And way too many drops from that group, aside from Kelsey. So that includes Demetrius Harris, O'Shaughnessy. Travis has had a few, but for the most part, he's been consistent. And Parker, way too many drops.
What did Brad Childress call their blocking?
Travis. He called him a push and pester guy. That was good. Yeah. Childress is great, by the way. I like talking to him.
Too many push and pester guys.
So, listen, if there's a position group as funky as it sounds, they miss Anthony Fasano. They do.
Yeah.
Like Fasano was a reliable receiver who was a very good blocker. They miss a guy like that.
He could do something that nobody in this group can do. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, the question is, how many do they keep? How many tight ends are they going to end up keeping?
The only guys I feel, they're going to keep Kelsey. With as much as we've hyped Travis, there's no way they could cut him and he wouldn't get picked up somewhere. So they got to keep him. They gave Harris money, so I think they've got to keep him. I think it's O'Shaughnessy and Parker on but I don't know.
I don't know either. To me, the question is, do you keep 3 or 4? And that may depend on how many wide receivers you keep, how many running backs you keep. The Chiefs love the tight end. Andy Reid loves the tight end.
I'd rather keep 3 and just use Sherman more, because at least I know Sherman's going to carry out his assignment blocking. Even if it's a bigger guy, Sherman to get it done. I'd rather have him. Everyone's favorite position.
We've talked around it the whole time.
Yeah.
Edge rush.
We danced.
We don't have Tom Mahaly. We don't have Justin Houston here. What have you guys seen from D Ford, Frank Zombo, John Massacoy, Andy Malumba, Des Moses, and Daddy Nicholas?
I saw Monday, with my own 2 eyes, something that I don't know if you guys are going to believe me or not, but I saw D Ford coming off the edge on a speed rush, and then he cut it inside.
Did he bend?
It was a move.
Oh!
He planted with his left foot, came under, and he would have got to the quarterback.
Was it a sack?
It could have been. In a live game, it could have been.
Was it against air?
I swear I saw it.
There was an offensive team on the field.
There was another human being. Maybe it was just a push and pester sort of like, I don't know.
Listen.
But D Ford came underneath. And that's, to me, like, that is a huge problem. Like, I mean, like that edge rush, we talked about this. Like, it is a potential to be a fatal flaw. I don't think that's an exaggeration at all.
What does the lack of edge rush mean for this team?
Corners have to cover more.
Young corners have to cover more.
Yep. You got to get more push from the inside, and they're capable of doing it. You're going to have to find different ways of getting pressure on a quarterback.
Yeah,
because it ain't going to come from the outside.
Oh, it's going to come from. It's going to have to come from some creative blitzing from Sutton. And look, I understand like some of the concern and negativity about Ford. I get it. I've watched the tape. Okay, I see it. There are some rushes he has that look really bad, but he also has. I think it's important to be fair here and like there are moments where he does like flash kind of what you want to see. What he has to do is continue to use his hands. I mean, there's not a whole lot of pop in him sometimes, and that's not something you can have. He's really got to use his hands better. The bend to the quarterback, when he uses a speed rush, sink his hips, turn inside to the quarterback, he's got to be better with that. And honestly, guys, I got to watch the game. I'm looking forward to the preseason game. Like, let's see how much better he is as a rusher in that game.
I know you spend so much time detailing every position, every player on this team, but I've spent most of this time watching Dee Ford and watching that position, and I really need to see something Saturday just to be convinced. No, I don't. And
but you know what's funny though? When I'm watching, he gets sacks out there. Like I see it in reports. Like he has plays where they whistle it and it's a sack again because you can't hit the quarterback. There's stuff there. I get it. And
here's the thing: like he has the talent to do it.
He has talent. He has speed. He has something. A first step. He's got speed that's uncommon for somebody his size. To me, what he doesn't have, or what I haven't seen, is that he doesn't have a third and fourth move. He doesn't.
Yeah, that's fair.
He does have a second
consistent
move,
one,
right? A consistent one, or one that he seems to doesn't know how to apply it if he does. I don't know.
The thing, like he's talented. He's talented enough to do it. And the fact that he hasn't done it yet, outside that one, the Chargers game or whatever, but I don't think that, like, the tendency, Terez, me and you were talking about this, like, the other day, the tendency is to say bust, right?
Yeah, we were at the same point with Fisher last year. Beyond that, after the Watt thing, people buried him. He was done. Then what happened? He came back and started. Now that talk is done because he put Watt on his ass. So I get the negativity surrounding Dee Ford. This is the year. He's got to show it, right? Just let him play the year. We'll see what happens. Have you guys seen anything else from any of the other edge rushers? Because I haven't really.
No.
There hasn't been a whole lot there. No. That's why. That's part of the reason it's a concern.
We don't talk about Frank Zombo a lot. There's a reason why we don't talk about him a lot. He's a nice complementary type player.
He's a very good special teams player. You can mix him in. He's not going to kill you if he has to play. But in this division, with some of these edge rushers, for God's sakes, Denver's got DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller. Even the Chargers have Melvin Ingram and Jerry Atachu or what. I liked him. Like, there are edge rushers. Oakland, Khalil Mack. Are you kidding? Bruce Irvin. Teams bring it in this division. And if Dee Ford doesn't step up to the plate, there is a chance that if Justin Houston comes back, they got the worst edge rush in the division. They're serious. If Justin Houston doesn't come back, there's a chance that happens.
They will have the worst edge rush in the division game one, assuming Justin Houston's not there.
Well,
right?
The Chargers group has to, I love Ingram and all, but Adewachu is kind of at the same point Ford is, okay?
And remember that opponent coming into for the season opener was the opponent that Dee Ford made his bones.
He did make his bones. He did make his bones on them.
And as much as we talk about the 3 sacks in that game, I thought the play at the end of the game was his best play when he broke up the pass in the end zone.
I can't believe I've kind of got to, because I'm interested in being fair here. I just think that it's really important that we just see what happens this year.
He's going to play
a lot. And one thing about the Chargers, their edge rush was so good last year that they drafted Joey Bosa 3rd overall. So, let's not.
Interesting thing about that too.
Yeah,
Joey Bosa.
Yeah, he's not. My thing is let's not overrate I like what the Chargers have, but I don't know if I'd agree that it's better than Tamba and Ford.
Well, before I leave it alone, look. The Chiefs knew before the draft that Justin Houston wasn't going to be able to start the season.
Yeah.
And they didn't take care of this problem in the draft.
Right.
They had a chance to take care of it in the draft.
So they
didn't do it. So some of this is on front office.
Because there were some guys there that could have been had in the 2nd and 3rd round that could have helped. Do you hear me, Shalik Calhoun? So they're betting on Dee Ford, okay? And Tamba Hali. So, we'll see. What have you guys seen from Nick Foles in the last week?
Honestly, I don't know if this is fair or not. He's been a Chiefs employee for less than a week, right? Or maybe just a week, but he hasn't been as good as I thought. Actually,
yeah, the accuracy is.
Yeah,
you hit on it today, Terez. You were asking him about his accuracy, and he felt like he finally got around to it today. The final St. Joe practice before the preseason opener, he hasn't been accurate, and that's something that he is. His stats.
There have been practices Bray's been better than him.
Mm-hmm.
Bray's been better than him in most of the practices since he's been here. So I get that it's a rhythm thing. I get that it's a timing thing.
Yeah, and each practice that Foles has,
he's gotten better.
Yeah, and that next practice will mean more than his last practice because he's getting into the system and everything. But I just thought when they signed him, I was expecting, maybe this wasn't fair, but I was expecting a gap between him and
there
Bray,
hasn't been.
And it just hasn't.
I would agree.
But he is going to be the second quarterback on the field.
Yeah, he sure did
Saturday.
move up that depth chart, boy. There was no doubt about what was happening. Because I don't know if his play on the field deserved that, but they made it real clear. Nick Foles is the backup, okay? And I think we talked a little bit about DeAnthony. Were there any other guys that you guys got to see more from, or any other concerns you have?
I don't know. It's not a concern. Actually, it's just the opposite. I think it says something about where the Chiefs are in year 4 of Reed Dorsey, that you've got a couple of guys who started on the offensive line last year, Ja Reed and Zach Fulton, who are second-team offensive linemen so far, in practice. And the same 5, I'm going to write about this for later in the week, the 5 offensive linemen who started the first practice here have started every practice here. And I think that bodes well for the Chiefs. I mean, you can create an offensive line, continuity, communication. It's a comfort thing for the quarterback. I think that speaks well for the Chiefs. And I can remember this time a year ago, they had gone through multiple players at every position. It seemed like trying to find the right combination, and that went into the regular season. Injuries played a role, and they'll play a role this year as well. But they just seem to have an idea of what they're doing on the offensive line.
All right, so I know we're only 2 weeks into camp, and there's still a bunch of weeks left here before the regular season. But screw it, right? Let's have some fun predictions. Record. I'll kick it off since it's my idea. I'm still gonna say 10-6, but I could see a 9-7 if this edge rush isn't up to par. It sure wouldn't take much, The wrong injury to the wrong guy, 10-6 becomes 9-7 or 8-8. Conversely, if everything goes right with the injuries, they go 11-5. Okay, Justin Houston comes back, they get some breaks early. Yeah, they can go 11-5, win the division. That's where I'm at. Sammy, where you at?
So I've been 8-8.
That's that long time Kansas City attitude, boy. Jesus.
I've raised it to 9-7.
Yeah.
Just because I think that. I guess we've been talking about a lot. Like the roster, this is the best roster that they've had. There's a lot of depth, but that edge rush has the potential to be a fatal flaw. And I don't know if, and none of us do, if Justin Houston is going to play in the 5th game of the year, the 6th game of the year, the 13th game of the year.
We don't know.
And there's a huge gap in there. I mean, that can be the difference right there between 8-8 and 11-5.
They're going to have to outscore people.
Oh yeah,
I think that's the key. But I think this is the year they're able to do that. With I don't think the wide receiver position group is elite, but it's the best that they've had.
It's good enough.
I think the running back position group might be
really
close
good.
to elite. I mean, it's really good. I'm a big Spencer. We haven't talked about these guys, but I'm a big Spencer Ware.
Oh, I am too. I think Ware's a boss.
Yeah. And look, backup quarterback. I think that sent a signal that they're serious about this.
I think we all agree because backup quarterback was a real problem because before they signed Foles, it's like Alex Smith gets hurt, that 10-6 can turn to 7-9 real quick, But Foles, Andy's going to be able to put that guy in positions to play. But what's your prediction?
All right, my prediction is I'm saying 11-5. I think this team is better than last year's team at most positions. The edge rush certainly is a concern, but I think the schedule is more favorable. I think the Chiefs' division is more difficult than it was last year, but the AFC South and the NFC South opponents, I think, give the Chiefs a chance to have as good a record as a year ago.
Blair, with that prediction, that means that you're kind of putting some faith in the edge rush. You're kind of putting a little faith in it.
Yeah, you are.
Look
at you.
You are.
Look at you.
You must think Tamba Hali's going to have a good season.
I'm betting that Bob Sutton will have a good season. We will figure it out. They see what we all see. They know what's going on, and they'll figure it out. But I have look. I think the schedules. Look, everybody in the West plays the same schedule. It's not like there's no schedule advantage for somebody. It's not college football, But I don't know. I think in year 4, with the improvements that this team made, with the draft that it had, with the couple of the free agent acquisitions like Streeter that they had, it needs to be as good as it was last year, and even a little bit better.
Yeah. One thing about the edge rush, sorry, Trey, one thing, and we all know this, but it's worth pointing out. Houston missed 5 games last year, right? Mm-hmm. And they went 5-0, and they had basically the same sack rate as they had without him. Now they played mostly rotten teams. They played really terrible teams, and that Cleveland game was more of a problem than it should have been because they didn't get any sacks at all in that game. But they've done it before. They haven't done it like this. To start out a season and trying to chase a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. And I'll say this too. There's a chance the interior rush is better this year.
Yeah.
Chris Jones, guys. If you're telling me this guy's playing 20 snaps and he can really let it loose on 20 snaps, he's better than Mike DeVito as a pass rusher. And they had DeVito in on pass rushing downs last year, so there's no reason this interior rush can't be better.
Get them some sacks. They had 11 sacks from, I think it was 14 sacks from the interior guys last year. DeVito had 3, and 11. I did this. 14 of their 47 sacks came from the middle. I think they can improve on that number.
And I'm gonna mention this too. Okay, I think one of D Ford's issues is that he was a 4.3 end in college. You cannot deny his burst off the edge and feel for rushing a passer out of a 3-point stance. He has that. I think they got to find a way to let him put his hands in the dirt and get upfield. Teams are in nickel all the time now. Teams are throwing the ball so much. There is no reason that you can't let him put his hands in the dirt and rush the way he did in college. They have got to find ways to let him do things he's comfortable with, because I don't think his first step is as good out of a two-point stance as it is out of a 3. I think it's different. Yeah. I think it's and this is easy for me to say because I ain't got to draw it up, but I think if you're trying to A, make that pick pan out, and B, trying to maximize the pass rush you get, you got to find ways to let that dude put his hand in the dirt, wide technique, and get upfield. Just let him rush and rush and rush out of the stance that he made his bones at in college. I'm going to be looking for that, and I have yet to hear a reason why that can't be done in nickel situations. So that's just something I'll be looking for. Yeah. Guys, anything else you want to talk about? We covered it pretty good. Anybody? Bonus round.
We got to see a game.
Okay.
Got to see a game.
Okay, that's all we got, guys. I know you've been clamoring for one, and we delivered. So here you go. Also, if you sat through this whole thing, that means you like us. You like me. You like Sam. You like Blair. We are writing Chiefs every single day. We're really working our asses off here. Okay. So what I need you to do is go to kansascity.com, go to the App Store, download our Red Zone app. Okay. I'm not playing. Our True Blue Royals app is killing it. A lot of downloads here. And I'm a competitive guy now, so we need to step up. You really like me? You really like how we cover the team? Download the app. It's free. I'm not playing. Download the app. It's free. Every story we write about the Chiefs, you get a notification to your phone. And turn them off for all I care. But download it. This is the best way to read our coverage. You really want to be a knowledgeable fan? When you talk Chiefs with your friends, you read what we write every day, and you will be the smartest Chiefs fan in your group of friends. I'm not kidding. I'm dead. That's how confident I am in our coverage. So we get little reports that tell us how the app's doing. I want to see that number rise. I'm not playing. Last thing, because as many tweets as I answer and stuff, like, come on, let's go. Download the app. I'm competitive. I don't like that. And also, rate and review us on iTunes. That matters, okay? Got to go there. Got to give us the 5 stars. Got to write a nice message. I want this podcast to be regularly in the top 50 on iTunes. I have high hopes for this thing. So,
what I'm sensing here is a little bit of an undercurrent of screw Rustin.
Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. I'm a competitive guy now.
I love Rustin. I think Rustin's doing a great job. It's more of like, I know that we're doing good stuff. Like, I think it needs to be reflected in these numbers. Like, I want to see these numbers represent the way you're reading. Like you're reading, it's like the numbers should reflect that. So that's all it is. I know that this town is not a complete Royals town. I know that based on the number of questions I'm getting. So you guys got to represent and download this app for me.
To even hear that thought 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh my God!
You know,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
We're not all
This
Royals.
isn't only a Royals city.
So listen, do that for me.
Although 2012 would have been
Yeah.
have to be one or the other.
That's all we got for you guys today. We'll keep having positive, keep killing it with the coverage. Thanks for listening. Hey, give us the music, man. See you next time.